Hey, Jared.
Yes.
What do you call a cowboy? A happy cowboy?
I'm thinking.
I had to go with this one, because had to find something relevant to the movie.
Yeah. Good cohesion with the movie. I don't know.
A Jolly Rancher.
Okay, I was way off. I was trying to think of something related to Yeehaw and couldn't think of anything, so.
Hey, welcome back to Screen Time. I'm your host, Josh, and we all love hearing about ourselves, so long as the people in the stories are us, but not us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then my co-host, Jared.
First time. That's the quote.
That's the quote. First time. First time. What is this? Where is that from?
It's from the second story.
Yeah.
James Franco.
Yeah.
He's about to get hanged. That's a meme.
Oh, yes.
So that's like, I didn't realize that was from this movie.
That was a good line.
But that's literally like,
yeah, he looks
not anymore.
The guy's like freaking out, and he's like, first time.
But that is like probably right after the movie came out. I remember it being really big. I didn't know it was from this movie though. But yeah.
All right, so today we are talking about the Ballad of Buster Scruggs. It came out in 2018. Rated R. 2 hours and 13 minutes.
Come on, Coens. What are you doing?
Yeah. But it, is a different format. So 6 tales of life and violence in the Old West, following a singing gunslinger, a bank robber, a traveling impresario, an elderly prospector, a wagon train, and a perverse pair of bounty hunters.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So directed by Joel and Ethan Coen, written by Joel and Ethan Coen. Cinematographer Bruno de Bonal, the same guy did Inside Llewyn's Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Music Carter Burwell.
Mm-hmm.
Estimated production cost $30 million.
Okay.
It was nominated for Best Music, Best Costume Design, and Best Adapted Screenplay. Didn't win, but does.
I could see costume design. I don't know about the other two.
So
but that's just me personally.
Yeah.
Is this was straight to Netflix, right?
Correct.
Okay. Thought so.
I think it did get released in
theaters, some
LA and New York or something, just like a very, very limited release.
I know they did that recently with, I don't know, they don't do it with all Netflix movies because I think you were talking about that, but I know they did with Hitman. They put it in some theaters and then it was on Netflix.
Yeah. So, just real quick, your general thoughts about this. Like overall, because then we'll go into each story, I think.
I put it into like 6 different things because I knew ahead of time that's what it was.
I figured we'd even talk about the cast of each one separately. And
sure.
kind of broke them up that way too, because it was like to be too daunting just to list off all the people if you could group them all together. So I figured we'd do that. So
do it for each section.
But anyway, just this is the first time you watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You too, right?
Correct. Other than like the first 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Because when this movie came out, because people were making a big deal about it, going and being like the Coen Brothers doing a Netflix movie,
right?
So when it first dropped on Netflix, I tried watching it, and I don't remember what happened, but I didn't get very far and didn't even make it through the first Ballad, the first story, Ballad of Buster Scruggs, and then never came back to it till now.
Okay,
so didn't really watch it, but
yeah.
So what'd you think of it in general, overall?
Yes. I like the idea of the 6 short stories.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of it. I didn't like this movie at all, though.
Okay.
Honestly, the only one I liked of the 6 is the James Franco one, the second one.
Okay.
That was the best one, I thought. Didn't really like I shouldn't say that. I liked the first one, okay.
Okay.
The other four,
Okay.
not really. I will say, which we'll get into it later, this movie is shot beautifully, though.
Mm-hmm.
Looks really good. So that helped.
Mm-hmm.
Through the whole thing. I was like, man, this looks really great. And we talked about him, right? He's done a lot of, or at least a few other really good movies, right? When we talked about him before, right?
Yeah, I didn't. I go
Was this
back.
the
and
Revenant guy in Gravity, or is that someone else?
I would have, because this is the only other person they've worked with in a long
Right.
time.
So, because I remember when he,
So it must have been. I just didn't. I didn't
Okay.
go back and look. I mean, I could look real quick, but
yeah,
I don't
So,
remember.
yeah. So that's
That should be the easiest thing to do is look at what.
Oh, yeah, for that one.
notes for the other movie.
I also just I understood the concept of this, and maybe I just missed the deeper meaning, but I thought a lot of these there was just not much of a point
Yeah.
to the stories.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't really resonate with them that much and didn't really have a lot of fun with it. So yeah. What about you?
Kind of agree. I will say I really didn't care for the first one much at all.
Mm-hmm.
I did thought the bank robber one was fun, and it's probably the shortest one. I don't know. I didn't like.
It seemed like it was.
I didn't clock the time, but that was the first, the one that didn't feel like it drug on. The rest of them all felt like they drug on. But I did I did actually, well, the one that's I did enjoy, I should say, the gal who got rattled.
Oh, that was the fifth one, right? That
Yeah,
was the one right before the last one.
Yeah. And
Yeah. Okay.
I did enjoy that one a little bit. I mean, it kind
That
of
was like the longest one, I think.
Yeah,
It seemed like
I don't know. It did drag a little bit, but in general, I guess I actually got invested in the characters, like in more than any of the other ones, like in general, and then I did the last one. Appreciated the just simplicity of them just being in a carriage ride and like being able to it basically take place in that pretty much the whole time almost, just in the carriage. And
yeah, I like that.
I did like that.
Yeah. It's just the very end, yeah, where they get out. Yep.
Cool. Well, then let's get into it.
You'll probably have more than me because I don't really have
More than you, what, like notes?
notes. Yeah.
I don't really have any notes either.
Okay.
Well, because they're all short enough. That's like, what are you gonna say?
Mhm.
They have real deep notes. So the first one was Ballad of Buster Scruggs, not Scrubs.
Not Scrubs. Scruggs.
That's a different show. Scrubs.
Very different.
Or not so different with all the goofiness in this one.
Speaking of Scrubs, when we get to our TV,
Oh.
it's Scrubs related, Scrubs adjacent.
Scrubs.
It just made me think of it. That's something I watched. Yeah.
So we got Tim Blake Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else that stood out to you?
For that first one,
Yep.
I do want to say I like this actor a lot. In some other things I've seen him into.
Yeah.
He's great. Clancy Brown's the other person in this first one,
Oh, right. Yeah.
which he was in the last movie we just did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. He's in here. Yeah.
Very briefly, but yeah.
Yeah. That's right. He was. But yeah, it's so this one. I said this one has the most cartoony,
Oh yeah.
humor stuff that not grounded that they do, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Which is I haven't cared for it much in any of the movies. Maybe The Big Lebowski is the only one I think it works in because of
Yes, I agree.
because they're kind of high and half the time anyway. So it's
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
if not the whole time.
Mhm.
So, but the most of the time I didn't care for it, and I think that's the main reason. Just that this one didn't work for me.
Yeah, I agree. I've never really. I mean, because we've kind of criticized a lot of the movies. Now that we're coming to the end of the Coens filmography, so far, like those are the parts we've kind of knocked on a lot of their movies.
Yeah.
They've done that.
Yeah.
Because when they have done good humor, like more, how do we call it, smarter or just
right, yeah,
more mature, sophisticated, whatever you want to call it, it's good. But then they still gets us in their DNA. They still come back to it every now and then. This one for sure, like actually felt like Looney Tunes almost at some points.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that was what they were trying to get at.
Probably for this one, yeah.
Inspiration. Yeah, it definitely felt like something out of Bugs Bunny and I don't know. And I mean, I don't mind that stuff in cartoon, but just like, I don't know, something about it just never sits right with me the way they do it. Because also, I don't, I'm all for, I mean, I like Dumb and Dumber. Like, I'm all for like just
that's still different though.
Stupidness, but like, there's something about that just, anyway.
And Looney Tunes is great. So
yeah,
that's not the issue.
No. Any other thoughts on this one specifically? I'll also say, I think this was the weakest from a cinematic standpoint.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought there were still there were some shots in this first one I actually really liked.
Okay.
Which we'll get to, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, did you want to talk about, I mean.
We want to go like that?
Yeah, because I feel like, because they don't all feel the same. They're all done a little differently. So I figured we go by.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Yeah. Well, with all 6 of these, we don't really need to. You can touch on score if you want, but I don't really have anything because I didn't really.
No, I just figured we'd talk through each one instead of having to jump back around. So like, if there's something to talk about cinematically, score wise,
but
we don't have to like go crazy.
Yeah,
because it's going to take a while to get through 6 short films instead of one film.
Yep,
it's basically what it is. And we don't want a 3-hour podcast.
No,
about something that neither one of us really like that much in general.
This one's. I don't think this pod's going to be that long. I like the shot inside the guitar.
Oh, okay. I do. That's funny. Now you say that, I do remember seeing that.
That was really cool.
But I think it was such a right at the get go.
Yeah,
and then kind of as that one moved on, I was like, Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That was the one in particular I thought about. That was really cool. Which,
and they were playing a lot right there in the beginning with like changing how the music, because it was like he was singing, and it's like echoing off of the canyon that he's kind of walking through, and then it's like hearing it from inside the guitar, and they were playing a lot with like the sound design there.
Yeah, and in that aspect, it all is great. I just specifically with the score in this movie, and really all 6 of them, I didn't really.
Nothing really
stood out to me. But yeah, and I imagine, that they could recreate like they do with a lot of the shots. A lot of those like interesting POV shots, you can do it in a certain way. Like this wouldn't have had to have been like sticking a small camera inside an actual guitar, which I imagine they probably didn't actually.
No, you just have no back on a guitar.
Exactly. Yeah, that would be way easier.
Yeah.
It's like the I remember it was probably when Better Call Saul was still on. Yeah. I remember asking about all the cool shots they do. Well, they did in Breaking Bad also, at the bottom of a trash can or something, and like they would do that a lot in those. And I always asked you how those were done. It's like, did they actually just put it at the bottom? And you're like, probably not.
Probably just cut a hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you want to be able to use the good camera with the good lens.
Right, yeah.
They take up too much space sometimes to do that. Though,
that's what I was thinking, because, if you put it inside, you could realistically have something that's small, like a phone or something you could get inside there. But, like you said, it wouldn't look as good.
Something.
Or a GoPro, yeah.
Something small like that. Yeah. All right, so good on that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I don't have anything else for that first one.
So then the next one, Near Godonus. I don't know.
Is that the name of it?
Yeah, it's the name of the short film. We've got James Franco and Stephen Root.
Yeah. Yeah, Stephen Root's a staple from the Coens now through a lot of their stuff.
Yeah, he's up there as like one of the ones they probably used as much of anybody else. Yeah, yeah.
Very sparingly, always like one scene. Yeah, which a lot of these movies.
It's funny that they haven't given him, though. I guess this is the biggest role, maybe balanced in this.
Yeah,
because he. But yeah, and like we said, I think this felt like the shortest one. I don't know. I didn't actually clock the length of them, but
it definitely felt like the shortest one. Yeah.
And this one was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny in a not goofy, cartoony way.
Yes.
It was funny.
Yeah. The other actor that I think he's in this one. Yes. Is Ralph Ineson. He has a very unique voice, if you remember a character, although he changed it for this movie, but he has a very specific voice. He actually does a lot of video game voice acting. He's done a lot of stuff even recently. I've heard him in, I think he was just in The Creator also. So he does a lot of both. He does a lot of film work and voice acting. But yeah, I think he was like the main guy that first like caught him.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Not the guy that shows up to shoot him down.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's him. Yeah, he's a good actor too, but he sounded different in this. But I mean, he had to do something specific with his voice. But yeah.
But yeah, like I said, this one was fun. They Stephen Root coming out in his like armor or whatever, kind of was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. It's good.
I like just because mentioning the meme from this from this one didn't know it was from, because like, you know, I knew it was James Franco, but I didn't know it was from this movie, so it was cool seeing that. And I mean, I think that was the funniest and best line of all of these.
Yeah, well, like I said, this one I think was the funniest one. Natural, or good humor, or I don't know, whatever you want to say it. Like, I agree. I don't want to, yuck someone's yum if the people like that. Humor. But like for me, this was actually found funny. Like there was like the little comedic moments, here and there. I mean, even when he's like hanging there the first time, and they leave him hanging. The Indians kill everybody else and leave him hanging there.
Yeah.
And then the horse is slowly like eating grass and getting further and further.
Yeah, that was
away.
good.
Like that was funny too, and situational humor. And then like you said, then the line at the end, basically the end. Yeah, the end. So right at the end, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
Was good, and you're like, I did laugh at that. Like I was like, oh, that was clever and funny. But yeah.
What about cinematography in this one? 'Cause I didn't point out anything specific, but do you have anything?
Well, so the stuff in the bank, that was interesting. Definitely the way they also they did a lot of the blocking, so that the frames were, so you kind of like thought one thing, and then they would actually show a different angle, and then you'd be like, oh, these were guns behind here, not like, or whatever.
Yeah, that was good.
So they did some clever stuff with that.
Oh, is this the one? Because I'm thinking about something now with cinematography. I think it was this one. He's like hiding behind a rock. Was that in this one?
Yeah, or like is a rock
hiding behind something,
or like a well or something. There was something he was kind of right behind. Yeah,
that camera movement I thought was so cool. Do you know what I'm talking about? And then like it pans to the horse, and then back to him. But it was like really the way it moved. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
It moved in a very specific way. The camera, like really quick but steady. Like it didn't feel like a normal camera move to there and back. And so I don't know if they had it on something, or I was going to ask you about that, but yeah. I
didn't catch it.
Okay.
Didn't catch that one. Maybe I was nodding off at that point. No. I don't know.
Well, did you watch this late?
I don't think so. No.
Or is that just a testament to the movie that
That's what I meant more.
okay.
Yeah. But no, I didn't pick up on that, but
okay.
But yeah, and then the stuff with him and the horse, and then of course then that one guy's kind of helping him, and then he leaves him to get caught by and then gets hung again.
Yep.
But we assume that's the end of him.
Yeah.
At the time. Yeah. Cool. All right. Meal ticket. We have Liam Neeson and Harry Melling.
Yes. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's in this one.
Yeah. And yeah, I just thought this was dumb.
Yeah, it was very dumb. Also just weird. Like, what the heck?
I don't know.
How is this guy have no arms and no legs?
Yeah. Well, that can happen. I mean, I guess, right? But like,
I mean,
yeah.
Yes, but and I get what they were doing, what he was doing, traveling around and him doing his show or performance.
Right.
But I don't know. It's a weird choice.
Yeah.
Which sucks because Liam Neeson's great actor.
Yeah, and you
he's wasted in
like
this.
for a while you don't even see him. Like you can't. No. It could be anybody, and like because you don't even see his face. But then eventually, we'll say like there was some interesting shots with he goes and hooks pays for the whore and then sticks the guy facing the other way.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
And then they had a couple good like low light scenes from like as far as like the lighting wise, like them around a campfire kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
you got to mention that every time.
Yeah, I got the
low light campfire scenes.
Yeah, or just like because the same thing with this guy with the nightclubs with Inside Lewin.
Oh yeah,
Lewis Davis.
Lewin.
I knew it's not. No, Inside Lewin Davis.
It's hard because there's that, but then the main character in No Country is Llewellyn. So there's Lewin and Llewellyn. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So
this isn't Deacon's low light though. This is
no, I know. Yeah,
but still, yeah.
But his stuff, I thought it looked good, and I was curious because you didn't care for his stuff as much in Inside Lewin.
No, I didn't.
Davis, but did you liked it better in this?
Yeah, I thought this looked great, but this looked very different too. Like I was saying with that other movie, it seemed like they did like very specific choices with the camera, and I was asking you like I don't know if they did anything in post with that too, but it seemed different. This was way more natural, and actually one thing I liked about this one also is because a lot of like Western feel, obviously not all of them, but they could have made it look more, even though I'm sure this was shot digitally, but they could have made it more like film grain or look older, but they didn't. It was very like modern looking, which I liked actually with this.
Yeah. But
yeah, I think this is probably the worst one of the 6.
I agree. And then so then we go to All Gold Canyon. Tom Waits and Sam Dillon.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Tom Waits?
I didn't look it up. He looked kind of familiar, but like not really. Like I couldn't pinpoint.
He's done some acting, but he's mainly a musician. Yeah. With like very, very distinct voice.
Okay.
His music's very experimental and abstract too.
Okay.
I like some of it, but I don't know. Tom Waits people, it's like you're a diehard fan or you're just not. But yeah. I think this was my second least favorite one. I didn't really like this one that much.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the sentiment of it.
Yes.
I think it was just too long.
It was. Like this one dragged. Like
it really dragged. Yeah. Yeah. And because I was like, at some point, I'm like, what is? I mean, are we just watching some guy dig holes? Like,
yeah, that
some old guy dig
from
holes.
The beginning. All that he was doing, went on way too long.
Like you could have got there. there was some, obviously the initial shots are like, oh, it's a beautiful canyon, he's in, and like that's cool.
That's
but
what I mean. Again, the shots look great. Yeah, especially the establishing shots.
And then I like, I like the end result.
Yeah.
Like of like this grumpy old guy that's just digging for gold, and then like some young guy tries to get one up on him, and then and it's like you're like, oh, this, and then in the end, when the spoilers, like he tricks him and he thinks he's shot, and then he like, well, I mean, he is shot, but like he thinks he's dead, and then he manages to get to the younger guy,
right,
and then kills him. But it's like he's almost like, I don't know, it's like you feel like, oh, that's not the first time he's probably done that. Like, he's just
no,
like,
probably not. Not in his whole in his whole life. Yeah, I'm sure he's done that before.
But yeah, just it's like you could get those same story beats and lose like half of it because you don't need to see all that.
No, you don't. And I get why they were doing it to like show like, oh, this is how long he was really doing it. Mm-hmm. But you could still get that point across, like you're saying, without showing it for that long.
Right.
So
you can do a quick couple beats.
Or do like a lot of cuts,
like a dissolve, or like a lot of cuts.
Dissolve,
like even like a dissolve between like days going by, the sundown, sun up, sundown, sun up.
You can do a time lapse,
whatever. There's plenty of methods that within like 30 seconds you can be like, oh, this guy's been here for a while.
You can feel that same thing without it dragging. Yeah.
Yep. And you could do multiple cuts, like seeing different holes. You're like, oh, there's a bunch more holes, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, anyway.
They just wanted to.
I was thinking, like, how do you make props? Like, one of the things I was thinking about is like the gold line that he finds. And this is just stuff I think about. I'm like, how do you build that as a prop so he can brush there and then find it and be like, oh, like, the amount of work that goes into like making that look like he's really digging for gold. Like, I don't know.
I always think of that in the first Jurassic Park when they're at the beginning digging up the
fossils.
Yeah, I don't know why that always has stuck with me. I guess because I've just since I was a kid watched it, and it's just
speaking of
good opening scene.
The new Jurassic.
Have they said anything about it?
Jurassic.
It's another reboot.
It's not another reboot.
Okay.
What are they calling it? It's not official, but it's like the Jurassic City, I think, or something like that. They're calling it.
Oh, okay.
But it's the guy. It's the creator guy, director. And why am I drawing a blank his name?
Yeah, I am too. But the Rogue One guy,
Rogue One, and creator. He's the one that's doing it. Gareth Edwards.
Yes.
So
he's doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
Sick.
And then Scarlett Johansson, and I forget the guy.
That's interesting. Scarlett Johansson.
The guy. It was somebody interesting. Like you're like, oh, okay.
I don't picture her in Jurassic Park movie.
But anyway, those two. Those are the two leads that are going to be
nice. Okay.
But I'm like, actually, dude.
Especially if he's doing it, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So anyway, because like a good Jurassic Park movie is good. Like there's just something about, there's a little sci-fi mix in there, but even like a little history. And
it's been a minute since we've had a good Jurassic Park movie though.
For sure.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Anything else about Gold Canyon?
Nope.
All right. So then the gal who got rattled.
Mm-hmm.
It's our next one. We have Zoe Kazan, Bill Heck, Granger Hines, and Jefferson Mays.
Yeah, I didn't have any of these people written down because I didn't recognize them except for the main girl. She looked familiar to me, but you're saying the name doesn't sound familiar to me, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, none of them really familiar to me either, but those were the main leads. So I thought this was
your other one you liked. Yeah,
I thought I enjoyed this one. Like I said, bought in to the characters.
I will agree that they did a better job.
Like the opening scene, dinner table, and like, right, that's where it started. Where and like her brother's like kind of talking up because they're staying with somebody before they move or wherever they were at for a minute, and then they move on, and then of course the people complain about the dog, and the dog's not hers, and then he gets sick and dies with dysentery.
Of course, dysentery.
This is the Oregon Trail.
Yes,
the game.
Is.
Oh wait, no.
Basically.
Yeah, pretty much
the way they're traveling. yeah.
And but then like, her the predicaments, and then the guy that's just like the guide with them, and like, and then you're like, and then it's like, oh, he likes her, and then you're like, oh, and then you're like, I mean, for me watching it, I was like rooting for them to make it work. You're like, oh yeah, and then the moment where he's fighting, I'm like, oh, this is not going to end well.
No, definitely not.
And then it doesn't. But
it doesn't.
But yeah, I thought, like I said, like you, and there was just like some other, again, the cinematography in this, I think were like just the because there was a comment he says like, careful wandering off, because it's just like a vast ocean. Because like the empty countryside like that, like you can get lost over hills and not know where you're going. And I think they did a good job of even portraying that, like in a lot of the cinema, the framing and the shots, and like
definitely
you really kind of saw this like just vast open prairie land, for lack of a better word, I guess, or whatever. And so it was I don't know, so I thought that was interesting and enjoyed that. And then again, some good low light campfire scenes in this one as well, a couple times. Yeah, I just like that moody lighting.
I know you do. I've learned that a lot recently on shoots. Yeah.
But then so that's
honestly, I agree. I think it looks. Yeah. I think it looks good like that. So even for something in like an interview. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I think it looks great.
But yeah, so I think that's kind of why I like this one as well. That stood out to me was just, buying into the characters, caring about the characters, and making me feel something, which the rest of them really didn't much other than like laughing at the one with James Franco. But yeah, any thoughts about this one?
No, I didn't have much on it, but I do agree that this one was better character-wise and dialogue-wise than a lot of the other ones. Yeah.
Cool. Then we have The Mortal Remains. So we have Ty Daly, Brendan Gleeson, John Joe O'Neill, Saul Rubnek, and then Chelsea Ross.
That's right. Okay, that's the other guy I recognize. Was Saul Rubinek or whatever. Saul Rubinek, yeah. And Brendan Gleeson, obviously.
Yeah.
Were the two that I recognize in this.
Yeah, so what'd you think of this one?
I like the idea of it, like you said, where it's almost all just dialogue in this carriage.
Yeah.
This one, though, I think it was as interesting.
Okay.
I like the ending part where it ended up once they got out.
Okay.
But yeah, overall, this one was, I don't know. Try not to rank all 6 of these, but this one was better than 3 and 4.
What do you mean? I was going to ask you to rank them.
All 6. I mean, honestly, at this point, I kind of did. Let's say 2. Let's see, 2, 1, 6. No, 2, 5, 1, 6, 4, 3. There we go.
Right.
That's from best to worst.
All right. Yeah, I actually think I would put this one, because I would go with, so I think I liked 5 first.
Okay.
And then 2 second. And then 6 would be my third.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then And then I think I have to go with the. Honestly, I think I might even enjoyed the Canyon one better than.
Wow.
And then Ballad of Buster Scruggs and the Meal Ticket last.
Yeah, 3 is definitely last.
Yeah,
for both of
them.
us.
Yeah. But no, this one I think again, just like we were talking with the gold one, I think it was a little. It was a little long in the carriage. I think they could have tightened it up a little bit more. But I do think
it wasn't as bad though as the other one. Yeah,
I do think it is a sort of like a really well done of just like introducing these characters, like we talked about this a little bit, that they've done in previous movies where they just drop you into the scene, and it's just like, and you kind of, and I liked how when they started arguing as a group, like when they're like, oh, there's two kinds of people, and then they're like, no, there are two kinds of people, but these could, and like everyone's idea, so like that was fun. Then like where they all had an opinion about her husband, and then of course she gets offended, but like, so like that. And then I like how like they kind of tease it of like, because you find out not right away what the last two guys do, and then like, you know, their situation, it's kind of like, it is kind of like, you're like, okay, it's a little probably not on the up and up what they do, but like,
right.
And then you eventually find out. So I mean, I do like the way they handle all that. And then again, like I said, it's you know, just keeping something interesting when they're just all sitting in a carriage is not an easy task from a storytelling standpoint. And
you're right, the Coens are good at doing that, because they've done that in a lot of these past movies.
But
putting you in a situation and introducing all the characters well, so you like understand it pretty quickly, which is like, so they could do this short story thing really well. It's just that all 6 of these, I don't think they
didn't approach them that way. Yeah,
right,
they didn't approach them that way, and they were trying to do other things.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a very experimental thing.
Yeah,
to them anyway.
And that's I guess the beauty of something like this, and
especially if Netflix funded it.
Yeah,
they were just like, yeah, sure.
You're being and being in the place that they have, or as a professionals who's been doing this for a long time and have enough. What's the word I want? Like reputation, reputation in the bank to like be like, hey, we're gonna do this. We have this weird idea of doing these things, and some might be a little different, but we're gonna try it. And I can't. I mean, I'm not faulting them for making it. I think, you know, if it's what is inspiring them creatively, make it.
Yeah.
But, doesn't mean I have to like it.
Exactly. And I wonder in the trivia if it will like say how like they approached it all, and if this is all like, if any of these were, because it seems like with some of their other scripts, it was stuff that they had already either written a long time ago or in their head from a long time ago. So I wonder if any of these were.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they aren't like stuff they've had for a long time. Like, because like if these weren't all things that they had ideas for and just never fleshed them out as like a full film.
Yeah.
And just kind of had, and then they were just like, you know, what if we...
That's interesting to think about. If this was actually going to be 6 different full movies that they had ideas for, and then they were like, maybe not a whole movie, and then did it this way.
Like they have this written down for the last 10 years or whatever, maybe longer, and you know, and they just keep ideas, and then like some of them become things and other things don't, or you know, like we've heard about before, where they kind of write something else and before they even finish another one, and then they. Yeah, and then it's like, and then they do like callbacks or like Easter eggs in them, because they're like, hey, well, while we're writing this and working on this movie, we can make a connection between them just for fun.
Yeah, I think it's cool they did that.
So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's not like, they just took their notebook of like, well, there's some of these ideas we've had forever that just aren't working as a feature film. What if we made them all a handful of shorts, all kind of that have at least some, you know, in this case, all kind of Western theme. Yeah. You know, and then it can work together.
I still don't know why it's called, like, I thought there would still be a through line.
Right.
Because of the name of the movie, right?
Yes.
That's weird.
Because, like, there is a missed opportunity there to potentially have
Have him cross paths with
have him, or at least a character from each one kind of somehow connected.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, one character overall. Like that's what I would have assumed. And
that's what I thought it would have been, but
but then they didn't do that. So
no.
But yeah, so
it's still though. What did you say the length? 2 hours
and 15 minutes.
15, yeah. For 6 of these, it seems long.
Yeah, I mean, so
especially
2 hours.
Because some of them are pretty short,
20 minutes apiece,
right? But
if you evenly distribute it, so there definitely some of them are longer than that.
Yeah, because I think the James Franco one, I want to say, is like 10 minutes, and that's it. So it's like, yeah, you're right. Some of these are. Well, the first one too is pretty short, I want to say.
Yeah, no. I thought my
seemed like the rest of them,
yeah, how long each one was.
Seemed like the rest of them were longer.
I did want to say, again, the cinematography in this, like in the carriage was good, but then also at the very end, like the mist, the haze, and they go into that old, I don't know, hotel or whatever it is.
Yeah, it looked great.
Yeah, like really great. Though the funny is when they do the reverse shot of the carriage, like the buildings across the like street or whatever look very like they're just like standing there as like props.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
But I wonder. So this is the only one that I don't know. This is the one that that got me thinking beyond. Or was that intentional? Is it? Because here's what I was thinking. Were they all actually headed to their afterlife?
You mean all the stories?
No, all the people in the carriage minus the two guys that were.
That's definitely in this final one. That's what. That's what it seemed to me.
Yeah. So then, the way when they get there, like it's not even a real place. Like, and that's why there's like these like fake looking buildings across the street.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
That's where I was thinking. But
yeah. That's what I mean by what I did like about this last one is the ending, and I liked that theme of it where, in the way they approached it, them walking in, it really did feel like they were like, okay, now you're going into the afterlife. Yeah, so I like that. And also, you were talking about the way they filmed it in the carriage. Felt very real because I imagine it was just nothing around them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it looked really like it. That was done really well.
And then it's the old guy.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, we had an arrangement. I didn't even understand what she was saying. You know? Like that was funny, but also all I could think of was like Mr. Wally.
Oh, for sure. Definitely seemed like Mr. Wally. Yep. And
for those you don't know, Mr. Wally.
Yes. Inform the listeners.
The visual listeners. He's a neighbor to our parents, and he lives in a house with no running water, electricity, and dumpster diving and whatnot.
Surrounded by junk everywhere.
Yeah,
inside and outside of his house.
Tons of junk because he doesn't want to throw anything away. Interesting fella, and he likes to talk and talk and talk.
Oh yeah,
and
actually has a lot of money, but you would never know.
Yeah. But anyway, this character reminded me.
Yeah, definitely,
for sure. All right, any other last thoughts?
I don't think I had anything
other than they obviously didn't go over too well because they didn't do this again.
No. What about you? Do you have anything specific about the music? Because I didn't really.
No.
Yeah.
No, nothing really. Let's look up the.
Wait, you look up trivia. I'm gonna look up the cinematographer again to make sure this is who I was thinking of when we talked about him last time.
Yeah. Looking for trivia.
Bruno Delbano. Okay. Oh. Our last movie, Tragedy Macbeth, also him.
Oh, okay. Well, then they must have found like their new person.
Yeah, their new Deacons, because And this one I remember because this is the Apple one.
Yeah.
This is black and white, right? I want to say, at least from the trailer.
I think you might be right.
Although maybe not the whole movie is, but from the trailer, I think it's in black and white.
All right, so the poker hand that Buster Scruggs refused to play in the saloon is a two pair of black aces and eights, known as the dead man's hand. According to the legend, that was the hand Wild Bill Hickok had when he was shot in the back of the head and killed by Jack McCall.
Okay. Actually, that was, now I'm thinking about it, when he kind of looks to see his cards, like that. That was a really cool shot, too, how they did that.
Yeah, that's true. The horse's backside on the book cover is actually the logo for the Coen Brothers production company.
Oh, nice. Okay, this
is the first project to be shot digitally by the Coen Brothers.
Well, I definitely noticed the cleanness of it, like I was mentioning.
In the segment Meal Ticket, Harrison begins the show with a poem, Ozymandias by Pierce.
Ozymandias?
Yeah, he then proceeds to quote from Genesis chapter 4, the story of Cain and Abel.
Right, his whole thing that he would...
And then Sonnets 30 and 29 by William Shakespeare, and then he ends with the Gettysburg Address.
Yeah, I would say I recognize every kind of thing he went into. Yeah, for sure.
And when they are collecting contributions from the audience, Harrison is repeating the speech from The Tempest, Act 4, Scene 1, which is also spoken at the end of the performance. That's interesting.
I want to say that this cinematographer, this is not the person I was thinking of.
Okay.
It looks like a lot of French. I'm assuming this guy is French. A lot of French movies, and
this is interesting.
Yeah.
In the segment Mortal Remains, Thigpen begins to tell the story of the Midnight Caller, which in True Grit, Maddie asks LaBeouf and Cogburn would they like to hear a story about the true caller, or about the Midnight Caller, but we don't hear the story in that film.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool connection.
And also, in the segment Meal Ticket, a sign can be seen in the background for an establishment called Greasier Bob's. This seems to be a reference to the Coen's True Grit, in which the establishment is mentioned by a passing trader, but not shown.
Okay.
So this must well be from the same universe as True Grit.
Seems like a lot of the stuff that maybe even just random extra stuff or ideas they had for True Grit that they had to like cut out or not use. They just put them in some of these.
The bank clerk says his clients are from Val Verde. Val Verde is a fictional Hollywood location often used as a stand-in for real-life South America countries. Same location is used in Die Hard in 1988 and Predator 1987 and Commando in 1985.
That's awesome. Well, I don't remember. I just watched Die Hard again recently, and I don't remember that. But that's cool.
So in the Gal That Got Rattled, the brother and sister's surname is Longabaugh, which is the historical Sundance Kid's surname, Harry Longabaugh.
I thought you were going to say something similar to Lundegard, because it kind of sounded similar. It made me think of Fargo.
Yeah. Tim Blake Nelson did his own singing and guitar playing for the film.
I figured that. Yeah, he is a musician.
The Coen Brothers told him, all right, you're going to need to be able to sing 4 songs. We need you to play the guitar, and we need you to do all this pistol tricks. You got 6 months. Yeah, I had a great 6 months working on that every day. My son taught me to play the guitar, and I loved the character so much. I just wasn't going to let him down.
He's, do you remember, I'm assuming you watched it. Did you watch the Watchmen HBO series?
Yep.
So,
love that.
Yeah, really good. Tim Blake Nelson is Looking Glass in that,
Oh, right.
which is like
Yes.
he's so good in that.
Yeah.
That's why I mean, like he does some really good character. Yeah, he's the guy with the. Is it Looking
There we
Glass?
go.
Is that his name?
Joel and Ethan
I'm thinking.
Coen's third collaboration with the French cinematographer.
French. Okay.
The first was Paris, I Love You. Did we?
Paris.
What is
No, that must have been a. Anytime I go through filmography, I take out either if it's a short or like a documentary. Maybe it's probably a documentary.
And then second was Inside Llewyn Davis,
Mm-hmm.
which Inside Llewyn Davis got him his 4th Oscar nomination.
Nice. And then he's doing our last one now too. Which hey,
The guitar that Buster plays is a modern reissue of a 1930s Recording King single 0 or is it RPS-7 relaunched in 2007.
I don't know, but I recognize that the Recording King's name on it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's probably enough trivia.
Yeah.
So,
I'm excited for this final movie because I've been wanting to watch it anyway.
yeah.
And it was
So the tragedy of Macbeth.
Yep. Also because it's Denzel's in it.
Right.
And he's one of my favorite actors.
So
I wonder if it is all in black and white though. Because like you were saying, I remember the trailer, which I saw was. I don't know.
I don't know. So again, what do you guys think of this one? What did you think of these shorts? Do you agree or disagree with our different order?
Rank all 6.
Rank all 6. Write in. Let us know.
Every week we've been saying we got to figure our next director.
Yeah,
and we still haven't.
We have
will.
not picked. This is your last chance.
Last chance
to
to
write
write
in and give us your thoughts. And so if you want to do that, you can leave a message on YouTube or Instagram, send us a DM, or email us at feedback@screentimepod.com. And we will be talking about Tragedy Macbeth next week. So catch you guys next time.